Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Putin handling Trump again. Less than 2 weeks ago, Trump's talking points made it seem like he was tired of being misled by Putin. He adopted some really tough rhetoric. Traditional U.S. allies were hopeful. They thought that maybe, just maybe, Trump had finally seen through Putin's game. Europe was incredibly relieved when Trump called for an immediate halt to the fighting and indicated there would be consequences. Trump was playing the tough guy. Maybe he'd get somewhere. After Putin backed out of talks, Trump said he'd call him. Europe had a package of sanctions waiting in the wings. Trump seemed to be okay with sanctions. Well, the call happened. It was a 2-hour call that Trump hyped up. Putin didn't even clear his schedule. After the call, Trump posted to social media, quote, "Just completed my 2-hour call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. I believe it went very well. Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations toward a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war. The conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties, as it can only be, because they know details of a negotiation that nobody else would be aware of." He goes on for a bit, listing the people he informed about the call, and then said, quote, "The Vatican, as represented by the Pope, has stated that it would be very interested in hosting the negotiations." So, they will start negotiating to get a ceasefire so they can negotiate some more. It's not immediate. There's not even a timeline for the negotiations to get ready to negotiate. And that line about the conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties, combined with the bit about the Pope hosting negotiations, was heard around the world. It certainly sounds like Trump is beginning to understand that foreign policy isn't a real estate deal, and it's much harder than it looks. For weeks, officials in the administration have been saying that Trump might walk away from trying to broker a peace. I think we just saw the first move by Trump to ready his base for him walking away. It looks like he's about to claim victory for getting ceasefire negotiations going and then handing everything off to the Pope. In another sign that U.S. power on the world stage is declining, Europe isn't waiting for an indecisive Trump. It looks like they're getting ready to implement the sanctions they had prepared. Regardless of Trump's promises of future negotiations to negotiate, the European sanctions are aimed heavily at Russia's shadow fleet and financial institutions. The German foreign minister seemed tired of Putin stalling and said, quote, "We have repeatedly made it clear that we expect one thing from Russia, an immediate ceasefire without preconditions." It looks like the U.S. has been benched and Europe is taking the lead. We'll see if Trump's team can read the signals and maybe decide to get back in the game. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.